Hey there, it's mattyfu here. I just thought I'd shoot a little video explaining my international shipping setup for eBay.ca. There are some good resources out there, but they're usually geared towards American sellers. So I thought I'd shoot this little video just to show people how my listings are set up. I would not say that this is the best way to do it. I really don't know. This is just what I've come up with that works for me. So I'll show you how I have it set up on this particular listing, and then I'll show you the absolute easiest way to get started selling international from within Canada. So yeah, it's just a Starbucks cup I have listed. Nothing too crazy there. You can see I use the custom SKU just to tell me what bin I have it in. Yep, there it is, blah blah blah, just the normal listing stuff. I do the super minimalist description, I don't go crazy. So we're getting down there. Okay, so here's our domestic shipping. I use calculated for everything. So, yep, services, I just use Canada Post Expedited Parcel. It costs the same as a regular parcel when you're using the what was PayPal but now Shippo labels. So it has tracking. It's the cheapest option that does have tracking. So that's what I use for domestic for everything, except if I have something that can go letter post, I sort of make a decision of, am I willing to eat the cost of this if they claim not received, and is it worth it to do it for my seller ratings? Because there's no tracking on it, you take a hit there too. So it's a risk versus reward, but if you're trying to keep it simple, expedited parcel for everything for domestic. And so here we're into the international. You'll see I have a whole lot of different options set up here. This is just what I've come up with that works for me. So first one I do a custom location, just United States, Canada Post Track Packet USA. Again, that's the cheapest option for sending something to the States with tracking. On this particular one, I also have, and I put it second because I'd rather people don't use it, United States Small Packets USA Air. That does not have tracking. So on this one, I'm willing to take the risk and send it without tracking to the States, because it's a pretty price competitive item. There are other people selling it in the States. And then we have, these are countries that just my own personal preferences. I've sold stuff to them, sent just Canada Post International Parcel Air. Again, no tracking. So these are the countries I'm comfortable doing that to. So I have Australia, Japan, the UK, and Germany. France is probably fine too, and probably most of Europe, but whatever. That's just what I have right now. And then for worldwide, I do Canada Post Track Packet International and Canada Post Express Post International. Express Post is super expensive, like crazy expensive. It's probably like 80 or 90 bucks depending where they are to ship this mug. But you know, it gets it out there if people really want it. This Track Packet International, that only covers 31 countries. So that's why I have two different options. But these are they both have tracking, and so that's why I offer them to basically worldwide. But I'll show you another thing, which is the how you exclude countries that you don't want to ship to at all or sell to. And so yeah, because it's calculated, you need to put in your size of the total box and packaging and everything. And so I have that listed in here, just normal. And you'll see the excluded shipping place is huge, just like tons and tons of countries, because I do whole continents, and it lists each country. So that's how it goes. So yeah, that's my current setup for shipping. Sometimes, so if this was a huge item, if it was like 2 kilograms or whatever, and I went to, I'll just show you. No, I can't do that because this is active. Like if I put 2 kilograms here and went list the item, it will, here, yeah, I will show you. Okay. So list item. So it's going to come up and say, it looks like there's a problem, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't qualify for Track Packet USA because it's overweight. So when that happens, what I would do is I would go down there and I would go, oh, Track Packet USA, remove service. And then that service is gone, but they still have the, or, okay, because that's my first one, I would have to change this to Expedited Parcel USA, because that allows heavier packages. And then I would get rid of the small packets, because that one's going to come up and say it can't do that either, and so on and so on. So yeah, just something to know that if you get an error, it's almost always the weight or the size of the package is the issue. Okay, so there's that. The other thing I wanted to show you is the absolute easiest. If you're just dipping your feet, you want to try and do some international stuff. Here's what I would do. Get rid of everything. So this is how it comes up when you start. So this is your international. Usually you would have no international shipping because you just started out, you're just selling to Canada or whatever. And so, okay, this is what yours looks like. Here's what I would do if I wanted to dip my feet into selling some international. I would go calculated, ship to worldwide, Canada Post, track package, international, offer another service, choose a single location, United States, Canada Post, track packet, USA. That's it. That's all I would do. And so what that gets you is 31 additional countries that your items will be sold to, plus the USA. All of it has tracking. And so you're covered from eBay. Your buyers get their tracking shown on their eBay dashboard. It's on your dashboard. It's all there. It's not super expensive shipping compared to some options they have in the States. It's expensive, but for shipping with Canada Post, it's pretty reasonable. So, having said that, what are the 31 countries that the track package international goes to? So you just punch in Google Canada Post track package international countries, and there's a reason I'm showing you this. Don't tune out right now because you have to do a setting based on this information. So you go there, brings up the Canada Post site. There it is. It was right at the start. So 31 countries. Here's the list of countries. You have, I'm not going to read them all out. So you have that list, right? What you need to do then is go into your My eBay, go to Account, the Account tab, and then Site Preferences. That's where we are right now. And then under the Selling Preferences, you'll see Shipping Preferences, and you want to show those. And what we're looking for is exclude shipping locations from your listing. So right now it's set to yes. Is this the one? Right. So here we are. To start off with, basically it's easiest to just tell it show all countries, show all countries, show all countries. Africa you can actually just skip and check it because none of those are in those 31 countries. And so you just want to go through and uncheck all of these countries. And the reason it's worth it to do that is these countries have good enough mailing systems that they have tracked shipping that can be done affordably. If you decide some of these you don't like the looks of, you can exclude them. Like if for whatever reason you don't want Turkey or South Korea, you just leave them checked and they won't have the option to buy from you. So you can see I have like Australia I've let off, Fiji, French Polynesia, etc., etc. And so you just want to make sure that as many of these 31 countries as you're comfortable with are unchecked so that people in those countries will see your listings and see the calculated shipping for your items. So you do that, you're in your excluded shipping, you go down to the bottom. You can exclude PO boxes. I don't know why anyone would. That's a lot of people you're excluding, and as long as there's tracking, you're safe. And so then you apply. And so that's all done. That's all you needed to do. And with that, you're set. You have international shipping. You've added an extra 31 countries or however many you're comfortable with, plus the USA. And yeah, you've opened yourself to those buyers without opening yourself to a lot of risk of the downsides of international shipping, which are some of the really poor quality postal systems that are out there where stuff goes in and you're really rolling the dice if it comes out the other end. So basically all the countries that do the Track Packet International, they have an agreement with Canada Post where they're able to offer this affordable international shipping option, so they're pretty safe. So really all 31 of those countries are a pretty safe bet. I will say I have some of them blocked. That was just my own comfort level, but you're pretty safe with all of them. So yeah, that's what I would do if I was just dipping my toes in. Otherwise, if you're ready to really dive in, you can have a try with the settings that I use. Again, you do have to be conscious of if you're doing untracked shipping internationally, that does have ramifications to your seller rating. If you're trying to get top rated seller, is that what it's called? Yeah. Sending stuff out without tracking, not the best move unless you have a good amount of volume to build it into the numbers that you're allowed. I do it. I don't have a lot of problems. But it's a risk versus reward decision.